This is episode 82 of the Battle of Ohio podcast. The Browns looked broken against the Ravens. And, well, the offense, at least, looked broken against the Ravens.
Oh, yeah, it's broken.
And that part of the offense, or that part of the episode is going to be a bit of a grind to get through. Somehow, they let Lamar get away with 4 interceptions. Four! What the hell?
4.
The Bengals, on the other hand, absolutely fucking dominated the Pittsburgh Steelers 41-10. I was in attendance at that game and it was so cathartic. It pretty much wiped the memory of the 41-17 loss to the Browns in that same stadium out of my memory. Although actually obviously not completely because I just mentioned it just now. But point being, it made me feel better about it. But you know who looks even more broken than the Browns, Thomas? The Steelers. Because why?
Because Pittsburgh still sucks. You suck, Pittsburgh. Right. And Lamar Jackson for that matter. But, we're going to talk about it, but nobody else is going to talk about it.
Yeah, well, we will talk about that. We'll talk about that like later in the episode, but we will talk about that because I agree. Lamar Jackson did not look good.
Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
But first of all, what are you drinking tonight, Thomas?
Today I'm drinking I've already been drinking it so much of it, the Frappuccino. Had to wake up early this morning. Been a long day at work. Trying to get through this podcast and trying to watch the Cavs, trying to get through the Cavs game and everything. You gotta drink this coffee.
Fair enough.
Thank God for the Cavs.
I have got a video that I need to record and edit and release by tomorrow morning.
Go ahead, drink that coffee,
after we do this. So I'm definitely going to be drinking plenty of coffee. But while we're on the podcast, I'm going to be drinking a Yuengling.
Ooh.
Straight from Pennsylvania.
Prince once said, all I need is a Yuengling.
Fuck the Steelers. That's why.
Yeah, and fuck the Steelers. Drinking. Rest in peace, Prince.
Pennsylvania's best. Straight from Pottsville.
Prince ain't from Pennsylvania, but still he's from Minnesota. But he did say in a song, "All I need is the Yuengling." I think that was in his that was on his Symbols album. I can't remember what song it's on. I gotta listen to the album again. Shout out to Prince, y'all.
All right, so I can't. I don't know. Well, I'll let you pick, Thomas. I'll let you pick. What should we start with today? Should we start with the Bengals or Browns?
Can we start with the Browns today?
We can. Yeah, totally. Let's do it.
Because I have a lot to get off my chest, and I just really want to just. Ladies and gentlemen, we did not lose that game because of Baker Mayfield. No, we did not lose that game because of
Baker. No, but he didn't help.
Well, here's the thing, Kyle. The other team's quarterback had 4 interceptions to 1 touchdown. Your quarterback had one touchdown and 1 fumble. If you just hypothetically, yeah, I know these are 2 different positions, but if your kicker missed 2 field goals, right, and you're blaming the game on your kicker, but the other team's kicker missed 6 field goals. The other team's kicker missed 6 of them. Okay, 6 field goals.
But if you still lose. Let's say.
Wait. What I'm saying is, Kyle, is that Baker Mayfield is the scapegoat for bigger problems. The reason why the Baltimore Ravens beat the Browns yesterday is because the Baltimore Ravens are a better organization than the Cleveland Browns.
I don't know if that's why they won. I mean,
that's literally why they won.
You can chalk some of it up to that, but I think the reason the Browns lost is purely and simply because the Browns could not generate any offense.
Offense,
And I am dumbfounded. You know how like
Yes.
after we
Yes.
crushed whoever it was, I forget it was. After we won like a big game, you came on the podcast, you asked me, Thomas, or wait, you're Thomas. You asked me, you were like, Kyle, how'd y'all lose to the Jets? And I'm just sitting here thinking right now, how the fuck did we lose to the Browns? Like by that much, especially. I mean, maybe not lose to the Browns, but lose by that much. Like how do we let y'all score 41 points? That I don't understand.
Well, here's the reality. Kevin Stancy's overwhelmed. And like I said, I think that what I'm saying is that if you're blaming Baker Mayfield for the loss, you're just using him as a scapegoat for more minute for bigger issues. Now, you hear people all day yesterday say, or all day I hear people all day today say, "Oh, the Browns didn't run the ball." Yeah, they didn't run the ball. They ran the ball 14 times, which is a problem. But at the same time, your running backs combined for what? 1.9 yards per carry. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a genius here, but if it's 2nd and 5, if 2nd and 5 turns into 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10 because your running back lost 5 yards, then I might have to pass the ball. I mean, is that a crazy thought, Kyle?
That's fair.
Yeah, exactly. That's what was happening yesterday. And you only had a handful of possessions. The whole thing is that you had a coach that looked overwhelmed out there. You had a coach that looked overwhelmed out there, and I don't think that. I think that's the bigger issue. I think the team, the offense was obviously exhausted mentally. Maybe not physically, but mentally they were. Kareem Hunt, I don't care what nobody say. Y'all go ahead and say put Kareem Hunt in the game. Kareem Hunt looked gassed out there. Kareem Hunt looked fucking gassed out there. You can see it. You can see that he was obviously exhausted. And yeah, he had a big play here and there. But anybody who plays sports, whoever plays sports when they're out of shape, anybody can put all their energy in one little play and be exhausted the next. He was obviously exhausted. He haven't played in 9 weeks. How come nobody putting the 1-and-1 together? It is so obvious to me that this team, the offense as a whole, did not perform well. The only person on offense who performed well was Jarvis Landry. And Jarvis Landry had a fumble.
I was about to say, even then, Jarvis Landry, not only did he have a fumble, but he also had like my biggest issue, and the reason why I say,
but let's blame Baker Mayfield though.
But
I think he gets blamed, but I don't think that he's the blame.
No, he's not. He's not. There is no person who gets the blame. But my point is, the reason I blame Baker Mayfield to an extent is the same reason why I don't think that Jarvis Landry had he had a good game, but I don't think Jarvis Landry had a great game, even though he did have 111 yards receiving. But he didn't have like that connection with the receivers is just something that Baker Mayfield seems to be really lacking right now, which is kind of mind-boggling because that was the whole problem with Odell Beckham Jr. You think you get rid of him and suddenly, the connection, should get better. But it's just gotten worse. Like, is Jarvis Landry mad at Baker Mayfield? Did he agree with Odell Beckham Sr.?
No, I mean, Jarvis, I don't think Jarvis Landry, I don't think that Jarvis Landry looked, I know you can say a connection thing, but he still had more yards than he had in the last 2 years. So I can't fault. I think when you're looking at the Browns offense, you didn't have Anthony Shorts. You didn't have Anthony Shorts at all. And that was somebody.
Baker still targeted him 6 times without a completion. I mean, he targeted him a total of 16 times.
Well, a couple of times
he got 10 receptions.
Well, a couple of times there was a couple of times where he threw it towards Jarvis Way and threw it away. At least a couple of times that happened. But not only that, I wouldn't say. My thing is that because like you're saying receivers, I think he has more of a connection with Jarvis. At least Jarvis got the ball yesterday. People's Jones and the other receivers, they look completely out of sync with the offense. Completely.
That's true.
I keep on telling you, I'm just saying, Kyle, I love my coach. But I'm just saying there's something. I just think that just blaming Baker is just using him as a scapegoat for a bigger issue. And I think there's bigger problems to be fixed here. And if we do not fix these bigger problems and we just blame the quarterback, we are going to keep on losing.
Well, I do agree with that.
I completely just like that. That's the whole point here. And I think that the coach haven't. First of all, the receivers haven't been getting open, which is crazy because Baltimore don't have a good offense. So you know, I don't understand our defense. They don't have a good passing defense. So I don't know. I don't know what to say here, man. I don't know what to say here. Is it scheme? Is it talent? And then, honestly, I mean, I don't know. It's the whole offense in the whole. Everybody just played bad. The whole offense just played bad, and I can't blame one person. Everybody, like I said, my problem. The reason why I'm saying this, Kyle, is because the whole world is going to blame Baker Mayfield. Me and you. You know, you're like, yeah, Baker had a bad game, Thomas. You're not going to sell me that Baker had a good game. Like, I'm not trying to sell you that Baker Mayfield had a good game or not. I'm not trying to sell you that. What I'm trying to tell you, if you come in today, if you woke up Monday morning and was like, we lost that game because of number 6. If you wake up thinking that, then we're not going to fix this. That's not how we're going to fix the team because there's a lot more problems. There's a lot more problems with the team than just Baker Mayfield right now. There's a lot more problems with that offense than just Baker Mayfield. But I'm the crazy one.
That is very true. But I guess the problem a lot of people are having is it seems like Baker Mayfield is having trouble elevating the players around him. So if he struggles with that, then is he really the kind of guy that you want to be giving like the big bucks to?
Honestly.
Think about Baker Mayfield is currently playing at the end, but still on a rookie contract.
Honestly, I want to give Steve Nash Kobe Bryant's contract.
Talent coming from.
I want to give Steve Nash Kobe Bryant's contract. Would you?
You wouldn't give Steve Nash Kobe Bryant's contract?
Yeah, would you? Would you give Steve Nash a Kobe Bryant's contract?
You keep bringing up Steve Nash. Well, I guess you haven't. So full disclosure, everybody who's listening, Thomas was making this analogy constantly before we started recording. So Thomas, I don't know anything about Steve Nash really. I'm not an NBA guy.
Steve Nash,
I know he's really good. I know he's
really good player, right? And early in Steve Nash's career, he was always just a good point guard. He was never a great guard. He was never a guard that would light up the scoreboard. But
isn't he a Hall of Famer?
He is a Hall of Famer, but the NBA is easier to get a Hall of Famer in the NBA than it is. Like Dwight Howard is going to be a Hall of Famer in the NBA. If Dwight Howard was a receiver in NFL, he would have been out of the league 10 years ago. He's still playing basketball. Like Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer, ladies and gentlemen. No debate about that. Like, I promise you, get ready. It's going to happen. You're going to be like, how did Dwight Howard get in the Hall of Fame? Like I told you, it's the NBA. You average 20 points, you get in the Hall of Fame. It's literally that easy. But average 20 points for like 2 seasons, you're in the Hall of Fame. This guy averaged 7 rebounds and 15 points in his career. Hall of Famer. How? So do you, Ben Wallace. Anyway, Steve Nash was always a good point guard, but not a great point guard. He was good. He was solid. He was talented. And, and yes, he seen the floor well. But early in his career, he was really around average. And then they built a team around him. And then he won with that team around him. And like you said, Steve Nash is regarded as a Hall of Famer. So what I'm saying is, everybody's like, well, Baker Mayfield isn't Patrick Mahomes, so Baker Mayfield don't deserve a Patrick Mahomes contract. Like, yeah, I agree with that. In fact, I actually think this season's a blessing in disguise because you might be able to get Baker Mayfield on a team-friendly deal long term. And I really do think, and I'm still going to say this till I'm blue in the face, Baker Mayfield's our guy. I know nobody gonna believe me at this point because you're playing with half a shoulder, but half a shoulder Baker Mayfield looked better than Lamar Jackson, who was fully healthy yesterday.
That is true. Out of the 2 quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield definitely looked better.
And Lamar Jackson's gonna get a way bigger contract. So you know what? Look, Pay Baker Mayfield 15, 20 million a year. I'm cool with that. Do that. Please. I am begging y'all to do that. I am begging y'all. Don't pay him 40 million. There is nobody in this world that want him at 40 million. I am the biggest Baker Mayfield supporter in the world. And I'm telling you, pay this man $20 million because this is one of those instances where you can actually pay a quarterback at their actual value.
I bet you I can think of at least one person in the world who wants Baker Mayfield to make $40 million a year.
It probably is. It's probably his wife.
No, well, I was going to say it's Baker Mayfield, but there's two.
But still, I mean, I think that you might be able to, because I know I'm not crazy about this. I know, I seen this man make throws that I haven't seen a lot of other quarterbacks make. I know this guy, especially when healthy, could be a great player, a really good player. You know, the things that I've seen, though, this is not. I think these injuries are affecting him. He's hobbling, he's limping off the field, but he knows the game of football. He's still able to manage the game well. I just think. No, I know getting rid of him would be an honest mistake, especially since you do actually have a golden opportunity to actually pay him way below market value. Or hear me out. You can draft a quarterback and go to this whole song and dance all over again with a quarterback who got a 90% chance of being worse than Baker Mayfield. But go ahead, get your wish, Cleveland. Get your wish, Cleveland. Go ahead, get your wish, Cleveland. I am praying for it. I am praying for this man to go somewhere else, make like $10 million, become the starting quarterback, lead a team deep in the playoffs. Cleveland sitting there with like a 4-12 record. Well, we got this Allen kid. He might be better than Baker Mayfield. Maybe. He didn't have 27 touchdowns his rookie season. He looks really bad. He's fumbling and intercepting the ball again. And we look like the same old Browns again. We got to gut our team for draft picks. But at least we don't have Baker Mayfield as quarterback while he leads, I don't know, the Seahawks to the playoffs. Or the Steelers.
I don't think he'd lead either of those two teams. Those two teams are a fucking mess.
Yeah, they both those teams are a mess. But I'm telling you, man. Or I can see him go to Denver. What if Denver got him? What if Denver got him? What if Denver got him?
It'd be an upgrade.
I'm about to be like, what if Denver got him? You think Denver
had him right now, they'd be a playoff team.
You think if Denver had a healthy Baker Mayfield right now, they'd be a playoff team, yeah. You think Denver would be trotting out 10 players or 12 players on the field and then trotting out 10 players on the field? You think Denver would be doing that? And then that
is kind of dumb.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, all I'm saying is, is that, you know, and I'm not excusing his play because he hasn't been playing well. He hasn't playing well at all, and he obviously needs this break because he's having trouble planting. You can see that he's having trouble planting, and so he needs this break to get that heel and that knee together. And it's going to heal in time, so he's probably going to play better in 2 weeks. So I'm not worried about that. And there's only a half a game out of the wild card. You probably want to win out, which is improbable, but it is possible. You can do it. You just got to go out and do it. But the problem is that your offense is not executing at all. Your offense is just not executing at all. And it's small things. It's why are you calling that run play with Jarvis Landry? Everybody and their mama's seen that play coming. Baker Mayfield missing the screen pass to Kareem Hunt, and you're not taking advantage of these turnovers. These are all, and then, well, on top of that, and the reason why I blame the coaching, is because, like I said last podcast, you explained what I said was they're playing good, but they're not playing. They're good, but they're just not playing good. And that's not what I meant. What I meant is that they're not executing. And I think that there's a difference between playing over your talent and executing. I think that the problem the Browns are having, the problem that Browns offense is having, is that they're not executing their plays correctly. They're not executing their schemes correctly. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not executing their blocks correctly. Freaking Nick Chubb missed a wide open hole yesterday. I only seen it because what amazing broadcast by NBC Sports Network. But the problem is that Nick Chubb's missing holes. blockers are missing blocks. These are all execution errors. These are all things. And what I say about execution is Alabama could play their very best game. They can execute everything correctly against the Patriots. And they're going to lose. They're going to lose because they're a college team and the Patriots are a pro team. And the talent that the Patriots have is far and beyond the Alabama. The Browns is not a talent issue. It's the fact that you guys are not playing even halfway above your capabilities. Y'all not even playing half your capabilities. The offense is playing a tenth of their ability. That's execution to me. That's coaching. Kevin Stancy's overwhelmed.
So, Thomas, you know who has been playing up to their offensive capabilities lately?
Joe Mixon.
That's right. Joe Mixon. Not just Joe Mixon, but the whole ass Cincinnati Bengals team. This game, Thomas, oh my God, I have been waiting for a game like this for my whole life. Like, you don't understand. This is actually the second biggest win the Bengals have ever had over the Pittsburgh Steelers in the entire history of the Bengals and Steelers. I believe there was one other game they won 41-10, but there's only been one game that they've ever won by a bigger win, and that was when they won 42-7 back in like the 1988 season. And it was that one was in November too. But it's just you don't see this kind of domination of the Pittsburgh Steelers by the Cincinnati Bengals anymore. It hasn't happened in so long that I honestly I went into this game. I was talking on the podcast. I was talking on my YouTube channel. I was talking on on my articles and stuff like that. Every single time I was like, the Cincinnati Bengals are a better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Bengals should beat them. There's no reason the Bengals shouldn't beat them. And despite me saying all that, I was walking up to the stadium on Sunday, and I was nervous. I was like, oh man, it's the Steelers. More often in my life when we're playing the Steelers, it's just kind of not gone so well for the Bengals. So I'm all nervous. I'm walking up to the stadium, and I've got my heart racing, and I'm not feeling so good. I'm feeling all right because I think that we probably should win this game, but there's just kind of that thing in the back of my mind that's telling me as a Bengals fan that, it doesn't always work out the way you think it's going to work out against the Steelers. But my God, it still didn't. It still did not work out the way I thought it was going to work out because I thought that this was going to be a good game. It was a terrible game unless you are a Cincinnati Bengals fan. If you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, you watch this game, or like for you, Thomas, if you hate the
I watched it. I enjoyed it.
Right.
If you
hate the Pittsburgh Steelers, then you like this game. Because it was, but for a neutral party, this would have been a horrible game to watch because it was just the Bengals just pooping all over the Steelers over and over and over and over again. It was just fan-fucking-tastic, I tell you what. And what a game! I'm like I had to say I got no. Actually, no. I got like all right. So I kind of like while I was watching the game, when I was watching I was sitting there watching the Bengals Steelers game, waiting for the Browns to come on, and I was like, the Browns about to lose today. I don't know why. I was just watching that, and I was watching the standings, and I was like, yeah, the Browns gonna lose today. Like the Bengals can't blow out the Steelers, and the Browns can't beat the Ravens. We can't have that. God's not gonna give that to me. God's not gonna give that to me. God's not gonna give it to me. God, I like the Cavs won yesterday. Yeah, God's not gonna give me this one. God's not gonna shine on Cleveland that much. That's why I was a little. That's part of why I was a little nervous because I was like, oh crap. It looks like Michigan destroyed Ohio State. There's no way God's going to be this nice to me to also let us blow out the field.
I'm about to be real with you. I'm about to be real with you. By the way, Ohio State fans, they were so cocky, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. I was laughing so hard. I was trying not to get fired at work because I was laughing at all the Ohio State fans because they were so salty. I was just like, why is this so funny though? Like I was laughing, like I was listening to the game on the radio, I was smiling. I was like, this is great. And like, I try not to be publicly like I try not to show my hatred for Ohio State publicly because like all my friends and family for some reason are hypnotized by Ohio State and none of them actually went to Ohio State. Like I have no friends who went to Ohio State. All the people I know who went to Ohio State, I unfriended them. You know why I unfriended all my friends who went to Ohio State, Kyle? You know why? Because they all suck. Every single one of y'all. Arrogant ass bastards. Take that.
Yeah.
But going back to the Bengals Steelers game. Back to topic.
Back to the topic, but also to kind of piggyback off of what you said just now. Like, I don't want to sit here and say that like I feel the same way about Ohio State fans I do about Pittsburgh Steelers fans because I care more about the NFL than I do about college football. And at the end of the day, there are a lot of Bengals fans out there who are Ohio State fans. So on some level, I don't hate Ohio State so much that I can't at least enjoy some Bengals fans being happy. But at the same time, God, I just grew up with so many crappy Ohio State fans that and they've just been so cocky since they've been beating Michigan over and over and over since Jim Harbaugh's been there. And Michigan didn't just beat them, but they beat them down. Not as bad as the Bengals beat the Steelers, but they still went in. They still went in there and they crushed them, and it was impressive. And on top of that, it gives UC a really good chance of making.
I was just about to say that. I was like, you talk about the Battle of Ohio. We're on the Battle of Ohio podcast, right? The Battle of Ohio. We're going to real Battle of Ohio. Ohio State's having the best football team in Ohio right now.
Now, to be clear, as anybody who watches this podcast knows, maybe not so much lately because StreamYard condenses my feed down a little bit, but, y'all used to be able to see on Zoom, but I am a University of Kentucky fan, not a University of Cincinnati fan. However, UC is the hometown team, and I'm always going to be happy when they do well. And Ohio State is not the hometown team. I was briefly a Columbus Crew fan because that was the only Major League Soccer team that we had around here. But then FC Cincinnati happened, and I was just like, "See you later, Crew." And then that turned out to be a terrible decision because FC Cincinnati is awful. But the Bengals aren't awful. Bringing it back around because the Bengals are right back. The thing that this game proved to me is that when we went out there and we got off to like that 5-2 start and we capped it off by like just an absolute beatdown of the Baltimore Ravens. And then after that, we stumbled a little bit. We lost to the Jets. We got blown out by the Browns. But it proved to me that 5-2 start was not a fluke. It proved to me winning the game this way, beating the Raiders, coming off the bye and beating the Raiders. That proved that this team is for real. It didn't prove that this team is as dominant as I thought maybe they were when they were 5-2, but it did prove to me that, hey, this Bengals team is real. This Bengals team could really make some noise, and regardless of what happens this season, this Bengals team is going in the right direction. So either this year or next year, it's going to be really good. But then we come out and we just absolutely demolish the Pittsburgh Steelers like that. When the Steelers are in must-win mode, man,
it's funny what a bye can do. It's funny what a bye can do for a team, right?
Well, it's funny what a bye can do for this team because, like I've said this before on the podcast, but back when Marvin Lewis was the head coach, a bye was like basically doom. Like all the Bengals players would like get lethargic. They wouldn't do anything over the bye week, and they come back after the bye week. They'd all be out of shape or not ready to play the game or whatever. So, like under Marvin Lewis, we had like a 275 or something awful winning percentage after the bye week. But it seems like Zac Taylor's got these guys' mindsets right. And since the bye week, the Cincinnati Bengals have looked like maybe the best team in the NFL. Now I'm only talking about through the last two games. Obviously, over the whole season, you have to take a lot of things into account. But in my power rankings that I am still working on, by the way, because the holiday season at FedEx is just a nightmare. But in my power rankings, I do have the order finished now, and the Bengals are almost in the top 5 now. Because
they should be. They're gonna win the division.
I mean,
I think it's a no-brainer right now.
If the season were to end right now, the Baltimore Ravens would be winning the division. However, That's not how things work. You have to play a whole 17 games. So if the Bengals are actually in control of the division right now, believe it or not, because if the Bengals were to win all of the rest of their games, and then and like all the Bengals have to do is just win out, and they win the division. Now, not because right now the Bengals are in control of the AFC. Well, actually, they kind of are in control of the AFC North playoff crown. They just, technically aren't right now, according to the standings, because technically right now, the Baltimore Ravens are a game ahead of them. Or is it a half game? I think it's a half game. The Ravens are a half game ahead of them. Or are they a full game? Let's see. They're 8-3. We're 7. So, yeah, the Baltimore Ravens are a half game ahead of the Cincinnati. Not a half game, full game. The Baltimore Ravens are a full game ahead of the Cincinnati Bengals. But the Bengals play the Ravens once more this year. So if the Bengals win out, they'll get that win over the Ravens. That'll knock the Ravens down to the Bengals record. The Bengals will have the head-to-head tiebreaker over them. So the Bengals essentially control their own destiny completely when it comes to the only thing they don't control is they'd have to get some help to get the number 1 seed. So if they do beat the Ravens, I think the Ravens right now control the number 1 seed. But if they beat the Ravens, then they won't take over the number 1 seed because I think probably the Patriots would go get it, or maybe the Titans.
Well, the Ravens are collapsing, and I say that as we lost them because we're collapsing too. But the Ravens are collapsing. Lamar looks bad. Lamar looks bad. Lamar looks bad for the last month and a half, and he's healthy. This man is healthy. Like these are problems that Lamar has had. Lamar looks bad. Who's going to say it? I'm going to say it. I don't want to say it because I got stats to prove it. You know why I can say that with confidence? Because all the people that's yelling to me that my quarterback looks bad, Lamar looks worse. Lamar looks way worse.
Lamar does look pretty bad, but I will address that a little bit more in the state of the AFC North, which we'll do a little bit later in the show.
Why do I feel like I'm a crazy man saying this? Kyle, you're the only one who believes me. You're the only one who believes. I feel like I'm yelling, the end is coming. And you're like, yeah, it probably is.
He won MVP that one time, and nobody wants to actually look at that critically. But if you actually sit there and look at it critically, you would realize that the Ravens have been we'll get into this in the state of the AFC North later, but
we'll say it for the same video. Can I say something about the Bengals? I want to be positive because, first of all, ladies and gentlemen.
Last thing about the Bengals, then we're moving on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cincinnati Bengals are going to win the AFC North.
I think at this rate they will.
That's why I was saying that. That's why I was saying that with Lamar, and I'll get to Lamar because I got a whole rant about that man. But the Bengals are going to win the AFC North. I think the Browns still got a chance to split it with the Ravens. That's going to be. I don't think the Ravens are going to be. I don't think the Ravens are going to win many games coming down the stretch. The Steelers are dead. Go ahead, do your funerals, Pittsburgh. Go ahead, wear all your black and gold at the funeral. You're dead, Pittsburgh. It's the Bengals. The Bengals have this division, and like I said, it's crazy what a bye could do. And Kyle, you did to me with Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham. Well, let me take my victory lap on this one about the Bengals because I've been preaching hey, that bye is going to do wonders for that team. I think that they're going to come out the bye hot because they got the Raiders and the Steelers. I thought they were going to beat both of them teams pretty handily, and they did. And that was just a blessing for them because you get two teams that are in disarray or that are slumping, that are good, but are slumping. And you have a chance to take advantage of two slumping teams. And the Bengals did that. The Bengals look organized. Zac Taylor looked like he finally had the team to buy into his system, and the team is buying into the system very well in year 3. This is year 3, right, from? Year 3?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so yeah, year 3, and a lot. And this is one thing, this is one of the positive things about the Bengals organization is that they allow coaches, they gave Zac Taylor something that a lot of coaches do not get. They gave him time. A lot of coaches don't get the time that Zac Taylor got. Coming from the Browns fan, I can tell you, coaches get canned in a year. You have one bad season, you're out of here. It's really hard. It's really hard to be good quickly in NFL. They allowed Zac Taylor to set a system. They believed in Zac Taylor. They didn't do any kind of crazy bad press. The Bengals organization did a good job of rallying behind Zac Taylor. Now Zac Taylor, people are buying into Zac Taylor's system. Joe Burrow looks good. Joe Mixon looks good. Jamar Chase looks good. T. Higgins look good. Like, come on, Tyler Boyd, man, that catch by Tyler Boyd had that called back. Like the team looks good, man. The defense looking good. You got Hickerson out here. The Bengals could win a Super Bowl this year. Nah, I think the Patriots got it. I think the Patriots got the AFC this year. But the Bengals could be right up there though. This Bengals team's legit, and they're going to win their first playoff game this year. I can't you can't help but be excited about this Bengals team. You can't help but be excited about this Bengals team. And all I gotta say is congratulations, Kyle. Hopefully my team's not dumb enough to draft another quarterback.
I highly doubt that that's the path they would take. I would imagine, like you said, if they were to move on from Baker Mayfield, they'd probably go get like a free agent quarterback and do that for a little while. And they'd probably draft a quarterback eventually, but probably not this year. This year's trash for quarterbacks. Like nobody's drafting a quarterback this year unless they're desperate, I think.
Steelers.
Well.
Baltimore.
No, well, I don't. Okay. Come on now. I mean, that's funny, but come on.
He has looked worse than Baker Mayfield has in the last 5 games. Put his 5 games up, and then put Baker's 5 games up.
I don't disagree with that, but let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about the fantasy league. So just so y'all know, as a reminder, we did not cover the fantasy league in the last. We didn't really do anything other than the main segment in the last episode because it was Thanksgiving and we wanted to just enjoy Thanksgiving and we wanted to put out some content for you, but we didn't want to overdo it or anything like that. So we kind of put out the main segment, but we didn't talk about this. So. What we would have talked about is we had some interesting matchups this week, and definitely have some interesting results that we're seeing so far. Thomas, you are in a really tight game right now.
Okay, that's good.
It was looking like you were kind of about to get your ass whooped, but you kind of made a little bit of a comeback with that Patriots defense playing so well. And so right now, you are about roughly 7 points behind in the match. So basically, DK Metcalf gets a touchdown, then you're right back in it. Now
Come on, Metcalf.
He hasn't done anything this whole game. He currently has 0 points. But if he randomly breaks out and gets a touchdown, then that'll be everything you need to go ahead. Now, DJ McNutt, who you're playing this week, does have Terry McLaurin in this game. So I mean, you're not like home free if DK Metcalf gets a touchdown, but you're looking pretty good if DK Metcalf breaks out and does get a touchdown. But then again, the Seahawks probably have to start playing better because they're not playing so well right now.
Well, I'll tell you, in my other league, Nick Chubb killed me with freaking 23 rushing yards.
Were you playing?
I'm sorry, 16 rushing yards. No, in my other league, I'm like getting I should have won anyway. That's not here or there. Yeah, DK Metcalf have not been like as explosive this year as I wanted him to be. Like last year, he was like they called him Baby LeBron because he was so big and you couldn't tackle him. He would get open, you catch it, and he'd be like, "Oh, get up my way! I'm Baby LeBron," and just bounce over to the end zone. I don't know what's going on with him and Russell this year, man. They're just not the same.
So
where's the man I fell in love with?
I am about to move ahead, I believe, back into first place. Because it looks like Michael Dorsey lost his matchup with Cameron Matthew. And so that's going to put me ahead of him. And I've got more points. I got more points than Michael Dorsey does. So I'm going to have a tiebreaker over him. And then I'm currently in a head-to-head matchup with Jungle Bungles with Jordan Heiser. and he's currently the number 1 team in the league. So if I take him down, we'll have a tied record, and I don't quite remember exactly how the tiebreaker works, but if the tiebreaker works based off of head-to-head matchup, then I'll be ahead of him too. Now, if it's points for, I think he'll still be ahead of me because this was a really close game. Like it was decided by less than a point. But I mean, we both like put up really good performances. The only one, like I had a bad game from George Kittle, but I had such a good game from Joe Mixon that it kind of didn't matter how bad George Kittle was. Daniel Carlson, the Raiders kicker, had a really good game too. Jalen Waddle, Kirk Cousins did okay. AJ Dillon, I actually at the very last second I put AJ. I was gonna put Zach Moss in. I decided not to. I decided to play AJ Dillon instead. That turned out to be a really good decision because it looks like Zach Moss didn't actually do anything. I'm not sure if he actually got any handoffs. And on the flip side, AJ Dillon got 17.5 points. So I think I may or may not have made the right decision on that one.
Man, I'm just looking at this. Wow, man, the Seahawks look really bad. I can't believe the Seahawks look this bad.
Yeah, because they're trash this year. Like for real.
Yeah, that's
that. You saw how they lost to the Steelers. I mean, I know Russell Wilson wasn't there, but honestly, the Seahawks are playing about the same with Russell Wilson. The only difference is Russell Wilson's, obviously better than Geno Smith. But I mean, even then, actually, I think Geno Smith might have flashed more like big play potential than Russell Wilson has so far. I mean, maybe Russell Wilson's still hurt.
See, like here's the thing, man. See, I think the problem is that I fall victim to organizations when I look at football. A lot of people do this in football. They go like, this team has been traditionally good for the last 10 years. Because in football, when you're good, you get a good quarterback, you can be good for a long time. It's not like in basketball. Football is the only sport when you're good, you can be good for a while. Like basketball, you're good for like 2 years. You're literally good for like 2 years in the NBA. It's insane how quickly teams flip in the NBA. And baseball is like 4 or 5 years. Yeah, baseball's a little longer. But football, look at these organizations like the Patriots, for example. You're like, the Patriots come to the schedule, like Patriots are good. Like no matter what year it is, you're like just pick a year. Patriots probably good that year. Or the Steelers. The Steelers are always good. Besides this year. So you go in these games thinking, oh, this organization is good. So this should be a win for them because they're a better organization. People literally make bets off of that idea. People like me think that all the time too, because I think all the time I go like, yeah, so the Seahawks have been good for so long under Pete Carroll. They can't be this bad, can they be? And they are. And I just can't believe they're this bad.
Yeah, Pete Carroll might get himself fired, honestly.
I just can't believe they're this bad. I'm just like, man, they look really bad out there. This is the football team they're playing. Oh well, another one bites the dust.
Shout out to I believe Christopher Deaton, by the way, who is the only other team. Like this was a really bad week for fantasy football, man. Like I'm looking through some of these scores and just like nobody, like the only teams that scored more than 100 points this week were my team, Jordan Heiser's team, and Christopher Deaton's team.
It's a defensive league.
I mean, so, like right now it is, but I mean, defenses are still in fantasy football. So, I mean, you think somebody would have been like you got 14 points from the Patriots.
I mean, I wish I got 2 more points. I wish I got more points than 2 points from Kareem Hunt. Get in his shape, motherfucker.
He got 30 points like I got from Joe Mixon. That game.
I think I should bench my quarterback. Not because he's been playing bad, but because he had a bye week. Also because he's been playing bad.
Well, I mean, who's your backup? You don't have a backup.
Nope.
Yeah, so
I think I should go ahead and get rid of Demetri. I think I gotta make the hard. I gotta make the gut decision and get rid of Demetri Felton. Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Okay, so here's your options. Here's your best options for for a quarterback if you want to put somebody in over Baker Mayfield. All right,
Matt Ryan.
so get ready for this. This is a doozy of a list. Okay. Yeah, Matt Ryan would probably be the guy I would go with, even though
Matt Ryan
probably
probably
a little bit lately.
Yeah,
but after Matt Ryan, you got Daniel Jones, who's trash.
Yep.
You got Trevor Lawrence, who has been playing like trash.
Yep.
You got Ben Roethlisberger, who's trash.
Mm-hmm.
You got Tyrod Taylor, who is not trash, but he's, like
trash.
That offense is trash, and I mean it kind of. I don't see him doing really what you really want him to do. Zach Wilson, trash. Trevor Siemian,
trash.
Jared Goff,
trash.
Taysom Hill, which I don't know what the hell's going on with him. Andy Dalton.
What position that guy play?
My boy, but trash.
Like, I might be interested in putting Taysom Hill, because Taysom Hill might give me some tight end points.
Yeah. All right.
What position did that man play? Like, if somebody answer me that question here. He was a quarterback in college. He was a tight end. What are you, Taysom Hill? You got this ridiculous contract. Why did the Saints give him that contract?
Well,
what position did this man play?
Well, I mean, he definitely plays quarterback.
Yeah, you know how in sports is always that there's always that one player on the team that's just a fan favorite. Like, they make like one good play every century and they look good they're like the worst player on a bad team. So when they score, they make a big show about it, or when they do something cool, they make a big show about it. And everybody's like, hoorah, that person. For the Cavaliers of Matthew Dellavedova. And they get a big paycheck for being a fan favorite. Taysom Hill literally got a big paycheck for being a fan favorite. Who in the hell would have gave him that contract outside the States?
Dellavedova.
Like, Matthew Dellavedova literally left the Cavs if they win a championship and signed a $30 million contract. True story. Taysom Hill did the same thing to the Saints. So good job, Taysom Hill. You are another athlete who became a fan favorite. The moral to the story is, if you play sports, become a fan favorite. It will get you paid.
All right. So, last point that I want to make about the fantasy league.
Okay.
I could be wrong about this, but I don't think I am. Oh, no. Oh, there's one. Okay. So, Thomas, you better hope. Let's see. How's Jan doing? Jan won. All right. So, Thomas, you better hope. Well, you and Brad McGee. But you in particular better hope that DK Metcalf goes crazy out of nowhere.
Trust me, I'm hoping. All right.
Yeah, because if he doesn't, you will be eliminated from playoff contention.
Oh, that's a gut check.
Yeah, sorry. You and Brad McGee are actually I think Brad McGee already lost. So he is now Brad McGee is now eliminated from playoff contention.
Oh, suck that, Brad. I'm not joining you yet. Even though you've been great.
You're not the first.
Brad was the guest on this podcast, right?
Yeah, Brad.
Yeah. That's all I'm talking. Yeah, Brad. Yeah, I know which one's Brad. Brad was great. Brad was great. Brad was great. Yeah, Brad was great. Yeah, Brad was fantastic, actually. Shout out to you, Brad. But fuck you, Brad. You're going down. Or you already went down. I'm not trying to join you. He's like, join me, Thomas. No, fuck you, Brad. I'm staying alive. I'm picking up Matt Ryan, the quarterback. Okay, I just need. All right, they just punted.
We'll see if DK Metcalf can do anything for you, but
yeah, come on, Wilson.
There's always the consolation bracket.
I mean, hopefully, Wilson throws a medicine ball. Hopefully, Wilson scrambles out of the pocket and then just get the defense to look at him, and then just throw the medicine ball up to DK Metcalf, and then the Washington football team defenders just not looking at him, and they just catch it and while he's falling down. Hopefully, that happens.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the state of the AFC North then. I think we mostly want to talk about Lamar Jackson in this, but before we do that, let's go ahead and say what we got to say about the Steelers. Now, I got one thing to say about the Steelers, and it is, guys, it's time to tank. Just for real. I'm not just talking about this season. I'm talking about in general. It is time for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm trying to give some genuine advice here. I'm not trying to be a dick, although I do love saying it, but my genuine advice here is the Steelers need to admit it is time for a full, complete rebuild. It's time to admit if you put in a couple of years of being bad and just admit that it's going to be bad for a little bit, maybe you can rebuild and, put something together in, a few years. Like, I mean, that is a real genuine possibility, but it's going to be like taking this current team down to the nubs. It's like, maybe TJ Watt can lead you into the next era. But I mean, for the most part, just like, trade dudes away, get draft picks, rebuild this team, except it's going to be bad for a few years. If you don't, then you're going to be mediocre for 10 years. And do you really want that?
No. Kyle, I got to apologize to you. I didn't come prepared for this second segment. Because you know why I didn't come prepared? Is because I was supposed to write an obituary before coming on this segment for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
And my obituary is not prepared. But I'll have this obituary prepared for next podcast. Tune in next podcast for Thomas's obituary for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because I got one for y'all. I got a bye week. So trust me, I'm gonna be writing it.
Thomas, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been just riffing this entire podcast. I didn't write a single goddamn thing down because I have been so bogged down by my actual job and trying to put out some of these videos and stuff like that. So I don't have any notes. I've just been like off the top of my head this entire podcast.
I get you. I just wish I wrote this obituary for the Steelers.
Well, there's still plenty of time. They're going to
tune in next time. Look. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a week because they're probably gonna lose next week anyway. Who they play next week?
It's a good question.
Steelers.
I had it off the top of my head.
Let's see. Pittsburgh Steelers. They play the Ravens next week. That sucks.
Yeah. Shit, I'm not
because they I can see them winning that game.
The Steelers.
Yeah.
No, you know what? No. Go Ravens. Fuck the Steelers.
No, because
go Ravens because it doesn't matter. The Bengals are going to beat the Ravens. The Bengals are going to sweep the Ravens, and they're going to win the AFC North. They don't need help from the Ravens. Go Ravens. Beat the Steelers. Do it.
Go Steelers. Beat the Ravens. Because we can beat the Ravens next week. I think the Steelers are going to collapse. They're going to collapse. But I mean, not only that though, but like I just think that the Steelers defense, if the Browns defense could do what they did to Lamar Jackson, I think the Steelers defense can do the same thing. And I don't think that what Lamar did yesterday. I don't think what Lamar did yesterday was just like a fluke or just a bad game, because he's been doing this for the last 5 weeks.
Well,
keep on saying this.
Okay, that's fine, but like, who on the Steelers is going to do anything against Lamar? Honestly?
See, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. See, yesterday's game was a typical AFC North football game. It was, and I meant to say this earlier. I actually had it written down. Kevin Stefanski didn't, and this is one reason why I blame the coach, is that these AFC games are these like cold weather, late year, late night AFC games, AFC North games are cold weather, grinded out, every play matter type games. And they slow the game down, and it's all about the rushing attack, and it's it's a little bit about strategy, obviously. Well, it's a lot about strategy, but it's all about. But every single play matters because the game is slowed down. You're only gonna get 3 to 5 possessions a half because that's how the game goes. That's how the flow of the game goes in these cold weather grind out battle AFC games. And I think the Steelers, I think Ben Roethlisberger, who made a living off these games, could do it one more time against the Ravens, who just look in disarray. Because I don't really think the Ravens are going to get that much better quarterback play than the Steelers are. I don't know. Ben Roethlisberger might be hurt, but still, I don't think that the Ravens are going to get that much better play from the quarterback position than the Steelers are. I think Lamar Jackson's looked that bad. I've been screaming that. Nobody's going to believe me. Kyle, you believe me.
I think despite his flaws, Lamar Jackson is still 10 times the quarterback that Ben Roethlisberger is.
Is
he? Yeah.
Is he though?
Yeah, he is.
Is he though? Honestly.
Because he's throwing a lot of interceptions, but he can still push the ball down the field. Ben can't do that.
Yeah, he can.
And not to mention the Ravens offense as a whole is got a lot more going on than the Steelers offense. The Ravens defense has a higher ceiling than the Steelers defense. Like, I don't see any from a matchup perspective, this is a horrible matchup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if the Ravens beat them by more than we just beat them, honestly.
We're going to see. We're going to see. Because the Ravens haven't scored 20 points since the Vikings game. And then if you go back even farther, since October 24th, where they lost to you guys, the Ravens only scored more than 20 points once, and that was the Vikings game.
It's fair. I'm just saying the Steelers are really bad. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying what we're seeing from the Ravens is a mirage. I that's gonna come off bitter because I lost, but it's a mirage.
But to an extent, it is true though. Like, I mean, don't forget this Lamar Jackson. I said it at the top of the show. I am really salty at y'all that you couldn't do something with 4 interceptions. Like,
I think everybody saw that they couldn't do anything with 4 interceptions. It was like, here, Browns, have the win. Kevin Stefanski, no. Hey, Baker Mayfield, 4 interceptions. Baker Mayfield, ow.
Hey, but before we head off though,
okay, what else you got about Lamar Jackson?
I meant to do this earlier in the show, but forgot to do the segment. So let's do our underrated players of the week segment.
Oh yeah, I forget.
Bengals Browns. I totally forgot to do this segment.
Yeah.
So we can keep it quick because we're almost at about an hour here. So, but do you? I'll go ahead and start with the Browns. So I'm going to give my underrated player of the week award to Baker Mayfield.
No,
I'm just kidding. He was terrible. I'm gonna give it to Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Because he's not super underrated. He was projected to be a first-round draft pick, and he fell a little bit. But before people were talking about him falling, he was projected to be like top 10 pick or something like. So it's not to say that people don't know about Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, but I don't think this man gets enough hype for how good he is. Like, this dude's an absolute beast. He was like a big part of the reason why the Browns offense had a chance to win that game was because Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, while he didn't get any of the 4 interceptions, he was constantly in the backfield and he was disrupting the hell out of anything Lamar Jackson was trying to do. And when he wasn't doing that, he was a beast in coverage. And he didn't stop any passes from being completed, but he was right there every single time to stop the dude dead in his tracks. I think he only allowed 8 total yards of receiving on the day, despite the fact that he also like every time they threw toward him, the guy caught the ball. but he's still only allowed 8 yards. So
you got to be impressed by what he's been doing. You got to be impressed by what he's been doing.
He has been an incredible addition to that Browns defense. So shout out to you, Jeremiah Usu-Cormo. You are my pick. So what about you, Thomas? Who you got?
For the Browns, oh dang, I was too busy looking at my Bengals pick. Anyway, for the Browns, I also got to probably stick with defense. Give me look good yesterday. Who was also looking good on that Browns defense? You got to give shout outs to well, first of all, Clowney played great, but he's not underrated. But how about Takk McKinley? And like just being on the field and having your name called and stuff, and just adding an extra layer to that defense behind Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. The reason why I'm giving Takk McKinley a shout out, and the reason why I mentioned Jadeveon Clowney's name, is because Myles Garrett is able to play better when he has a lot of defensive weapons around him. So he's able, it's hard to block Myles Garrett when you got to worry about Jadeveon Clowney and Takk McKinley. And I just think that it's just another layer to this offense. So shout out to him. Shout out to him for being on the field. Shout out to him proving to everybody that he is worth something. Shout out to you.
I will say it does seem like a bit of a cop out, but at the same time, I almost would accept Jadeveon Clowney because
I really want to say his name, but he's not underrated.
He's a little underrated. I mean, maybe not by Browns fans for sure, because Browns fans talk this dude up like there's no tomorrow. But I think nationally, he has really kind of garnered a reputation as a guy who didn't even come close to living up to his lofty draft status. And before he came to Cleveland, he was basically just known as a guy who just does nothing but he flashes occasionally, but for the most part, he just takes plays off. So I think the national perception on Jadeveon Clowney is that he's not quite as good as he actually is. But at the same time, for the most part, people who are going to be listening to this podcast are probably pretty high on Jadeveon Clowney. So for this podcast, he's probably not underrated.
Well, but you gotta love what he's doing. He too bad we only got him for a year. We got him on still for a year. It's gonna be really hard to re-sign him if we don't turn shit around. But Takk McKinley, he had a great tackle. He had a couple great tackles. He had 2 great tackles, Lamar. If my memory serves me correctly, he it's just great to see him out there. Yeah, man. Shout out to Sione Takitaki too. Shout out to you, Jordan Elliott. That whole defense. The defense, y'all fine. Defense, y'all need. Hey, somebody buy this defense some ice cream. Somebody put the offense in jail.
So who do you got for the Bengals?
For the Bengals, I got Tyler Boyd. And I wanted to say Mike Hilton, but I'm not sure how underrated or overrated Mike Hilton is, because Mike Hilton was pretty popular in Pittsburgh. And I really wanted to say Mike Hilton because that interception by him was amazing. But I'm going to go with
I called Eli Apple's interception from last week a work of art, but Mike Hilton's interception was truly a work of art. Because he had it against the Steelers. And it was like the play that
killed the Steelers.
No, the Steelers were getting killed before that, but it was like the play that I think really put the dagger in their heart and twisted, made you really feel like there was no way that the Steelers were going to get this turned around.
Oh, you can see the blood.
Don't forget, right before that play, Joe Burrow threw an interception. And so there was kind of a little bit of that feeling, even though they were up 24-3 at that point. There was still a little bit of that feeling that, hey, if they're not careful, there's still a whole half a game left to play. If the Steelers go march down the field with this interception and get a touchdown, then, suddenly they're going into the half and they're only down by 14 points, and that's not insurmountable at all.
Yeah.
But Mike Hilton, pick 6, 31-3 at the half, and it was just a bloodbath at that point. But
Tyler Boyd though. The reason why I'm picking Tyler Boyd only had 2 catches for 13 yards. Yeah, but you always say on this podcast, Tyler Boyd is the best slot receiver in the NFL. The reason why I'm picking Tyler Boyd is because one play only, and I texted you about this when he caught the ball and he went out of bounds, and I just love that catch for so many reasons because it's the mental aspect of the game. I love the mental aspect of football. I'm always putting myself in the game if I was on the field. That catch by Tyler Boyd, because you had T. Higgins, because at the time T. Higgins was just eating the Pittsburgh Steelers up receiving yards. So you had T. Higgins going off. And then you still gotta respect Jamar Chase. You gotta respect the hell out of Jamar Chase. Even though if he's not lighting you up, you still gotta respect that man. But if Tyler Boyd out here making diving catches like that, you're like, God damn. How are we gonna stop these guys? And so like Tyler Boyd, for no other reason, he's there for another threat for the Bengals. He's another threat for that offense. He's another weapon on top of CJ Uzomah, on top of T. Higgins, on top of Jamar Chase, on top of Drew Samples, on top of Joe Mixon. Tyler Boyd. And that's why I gave him a shout out, because I think that he's a really good weapon, and he's going to pay dividends to y'all later in the season.
It's fair.
Hell yeah, a fair person.
Fair. That's fair. I like Tyler Boyd. I'm glad. I'm also glad. Speaking of Tyler Boyd, real quick, and then you can
tell I watched this good. You can tell I watched that Bengals game start to finish yesterday. But the whole game.
I just want to point out about Tyler Boyd real quick, since you brought him up. I think Tyler Boyd got in Mike Tomlin's head, because did you notice at the end of the game, despite it was completely and totally out of hand, Mike Tomlin was out there taking timeouts. In garbage time. I started booing at him. I was like, "Boo! Get off the stage!" I had to pee really bad at the time, so I was like, "I gotta pee, Mike Tomlin. Screw you!" But
I can literally see you doing that as you walk into the bathroom. Hey, I gotta use the restroom before I go to take a piss. You suck, Mike Tomlin. Okay.
No, I waited. I waited until the time ran out on the game, and it was nice because people started filing out of that game by I want to say middle of the third quarter. Like there were already Steelers fans leaving by then, and then Bengals fans kind of started filing out by midway through the fourth quarter. So by the time that I actually went to the bathroom, it was there was nobody there, and I was able to just boom boom in and out. But Mike Tomlin, I think, let Tyler Boyd get in his head a little bit, because after the last time that the Bengals beat the Steelers, Tyler Boyd made the comment. He was like, I think the Steelers kind of quit a little bit at the end of the game there, and I think Mike Tomlin took that personally, and so I think destroy Tyler Boyd. No, we're no quitters. So
I just suck.
So they're just taking timeouts when they're down 31 points with 57 seconds left to go in the game, and it's just bro, people want to go home. Do you not want to go home? It's over. It's over. Get over it, you salty bitch. I gotta pee.
That's a great way to close the podcast. Yeah, with a good old fashioned Pittsburgh still sucks. You remember we used to do that in every podcast? Just say Pittsburgh still sucks at the beginning and end. You still suck, Pittsburgh. I keep it going. I keep it real. By the way, even though Pittsburgh sucks, don't forget to click that link down below to NordVPN for 69%. Because even though the Pittsburgh Steelers play at 31% of the capacity, you can still get 69% off.
Wow, you're just bringing it all together, aren't you? That was
That
was I wasn't sure about that at first, but you kind of brought it together a little bit there at the end.
Oh yeah. What I should have said was just like Pittsburgh, you're only getting 31% of the price. Nah, that one didn't work. Right? That one didn't work. Nah. Well, you get 69% off. You're only paying 31%.
Yeah, I suppose. Fair enough. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much to the Cincinnati Bengals for just making this just an absolutely glorious episode for me to do.
Thank God for a bye for the Browns.
And there you go. But anyway, guys, like I said, that's going to be it. So, thank you for listening. You can always catch more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/The Phelps. Go check out my Bengals coverage on ATBnetwork.com. Go check out my YouTube channel. It's just called Kyle Phelps. I might change the name of that at some point, but right now it's just called Kyle Phelps, and I don't currently have exact plans to change it. So you can catch more of what Thomas does at yes, this way, pointing this way.
Yep, I'm right here. I'm right here.
He's right there. Right there. If I point at my microphone, I'll pretend the microphone's Thomas, and then I'll remember which way to point. So, Thomas, go follow Thomas, which is this microphone here. Go follow him at T_star94 on Twitter and Instagram. And then you can find him on YouTube and TikTok as the Thomas J Network. That's definitely stuff you want to go check out because he's been definitely blowing up on TikTok. And he puts out some good music on music. And do you still put out the roller coaster videos?
I haven't in a while. Well, no, actually, I do. I do put out a lot of roller coaster videos. I got a lot on there. I just haven't because it's wintertime. I can't ride roller coasters in the wintertime.
Okay, fair enough. But you get a lot of fun content there with Thomas J Network. But like I said, that's it. And I will leave you with the absolute biggest one of the year. Hooray!
Go Cavs.